before we begin the session, let's just invoke for divine blessings. So hands on your heart, close your eyes, sit comfortably. We humbly invoke for blessings of the Divine Supreme Being, Divine Mother, Divine Father, all the great ones, all the great holy gurus, saints, archangels, holy angels, all the world teachers of all traditions, the great Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. We humbly invoke for your blessings. Our spiritual ancestors, our spiritual elders, the angelic realm, we humbly invoke for your blessings, for your love, for your guidance, for your protection, for illumination, for prosperity, for abundance, and spiritual oneness. To our higher soul, our divine spark, the teacher, the guide within us, we thank you for your love, for your cooperation. Personally, I humbly invoke the presence of all my guides, all my teachers. And you could add the names of whoever you pray to bless us during this session. Thank you for giving us this opportunity to be of service. May I be a hollow bone that I could bring something beneficial, something useful in your journey. And may the light, the love, the truth, the wisdom, the intelligence come through during this session. We thank you for all the blessings. Thank you, thank you. In full faith, we thank you. So you may open your eyes. So before we begin the session, today we're going to do, again, I'm going to share a very simple exercise with all of you. So there are times when we feel very tired. So this is an amazing exercise to do when you feel really tired. Days when you feel that, things are not as they should be, or that we all experience those moments in our life when we feel we are just dragging along in our day. So this is a very good exercise to do every day so that we don't reach that point. So the energy of the body is crossover. And it's also scientifically proven because the left side of the brain is governed by the left side of the brain governs the right side of the body and vice versa. So what happens is when we become tired, when the body starts to become tired, this fundamental crossover pattern that runs through every particle of our energy system, even to the level of the DNA, it starts to become separate. So it becomes homolateral, one-sided pattern. And so the body is still able to function, but you will notice that you'll become more clumsy walking into the door frame, or you're tripping over something which has been on the floor. It's been lying there for several months, but you still you forget and you trip over it. Things like that begin to happen. But in cases where if you've been running on stress for a sustained amount of time, if you've been running on tiredness for a sustained amount of time, then what happens is this crossover pattern, which is the healthy pattern in our energy body, this gets stuck in this one-sided pattern, which is the homolateral pattern. So it becomes like more of a habit of our body rather than a healthy pattern. Usually what happens is we should be able to function with complete vitality for at least 12 to 14 hours a day. And then the body starts to slow down, get tired. When you go to bed, you sleep and you wake up with a beautiful crossover again. And then you're ready and excited and thrilled and full of vitality to begin your day. But because of the stress that you've been running on for a sustained amount of time, the tiredness and the same-sided pattern becomes a habit and it gets stuck in our body. So generally speaking, we should try and do a lot of crossovers, as many as we can through the day, like just every day. So when I say crossover, you could just, take your Take your hand and sweep from one shoulder down to the hip. Okay? Just like this. Try doing it with me. Very simple to incorporate. Wherever you are, you're sitting, you're standing, whatever chore you're doing, just sweeping. Or the other thing that you could do is you could start making figure eights. So lying down figure eights with one hand, with both hands on your body. This will really increase the crossovers in your body. Okay, wherever. You can make figure eights all over your body, on your legs, like whichever part of your body. You could cross over your face. You could make figure eight around your eyes. This is actually great for integration of knowledge, of information. You could do that. Okay, you could cross over your throat. You could make a figure eight over your throat. Just generally try and increase the crossovers during the day, generally speaking. And especially like your eyes are feeling tired, just start making figure eights. Head is feeling tired, just either start crossing over or just figure eight. Yeah. So you will notice as you start to do this, it'll take a while, but within like 2 or 3 or 4 days, you will start noticing the results. Another very powerful exercise, you'll have to come on your feet for this, to bring this beautiful crossover core into your being is to do a cross crawl. So what do I mean by a cross crawl? It simply means that you take your right leg and lift it, and you take your left hand and place it on the knee, and then shift. So you're doing a cross crawl, simply a cross crawl. But what happens is in our bodies, because this homolateral one-sided pattern is stuck. So if we do this cross crawl, it will make no difference. So we first meet the body where it is. So we meet the body in the one-sided pattern. So all you need to do is just lift your legs, same side, and your right hand on your right knee, your left hand on your left knee. Just let's do this for a while together. Just this. So we meet the body where it is, and we gradually, physically, we start doing the crossover so that gradually it will get introduced into our energy system. Okay, and now we are going to cross over. Now, one advice I want to give you when you're doing the energy exercises, especially the cross crawl, it's not going to be a military parade. You get into your flow and your rhythm. Okay, it's not a keep me fit exercise. We are just shifting the homolateral pattern to the crossover pattern, which is the fundamental energy pattern in our energy body. Okay, let's move back to homolateral one-sided pattern. And you can do this exercise several times. Just take 5 minutes. And keep increasing the crossovers in your body every day. Okay, let's go back to cross crawl. Let's cross over again, cross it over. Just find your flow, find your rhythm, whatever works for you, whatever feels good. Enjoy while doing this. Okay, let's go back to the same sided pattern. So we are meeting the body where it is presently, and then we are introducing the crossover pattern. Let's cross it over. And this time, let's just do it a little longer. And the pace could be whatever feels good for you. All right. Now, Keep the legs coming up and let's cross over the front. The upper part of our body. One more time. Let's go back to cross crawl. Fabulous. Slow it down. And it's great to end this exercise by crossing over your chest or your tummy, whatever feels good for you. Lovely. We are going to continue with the part 2 of the karma talk. So those who've just joined in today, I would like highly recommend to please, there's a recording on the group, so please listen to that session that we did last week, because there is a continuity and flow, and I will be referring back to that first session so that, the understanding is complete. But however, continuing with the second part where we left off, and as I was sharing with you, we ended when I told you in the last session that the law of karma is a spiritual technology to create and to navigate your future. So today we are going to break it down further. So to create is, what does it mean, create? To create what your objective is, what your goal is, and you use the technology to get there. That's the 3 key words: technology, create, navigate. And what is navigate? On your way there, it allows you to change course and get away and get around all your obstacles. So let me break it down a little further for you. Okay, just to give you an example. So I have this bracelet here. So there's something called the law of gravity. So if I drop it, it falls, right? So now what if I don't want this bracelet to fall and to hit the ground? It's easy. Before it hits the ground, I will just grab it. So guess what I just did? So the law of gravity, that was pulling the bracelet down to the earth, but I introduced an equal and opposing force in a different direction. So I stopped and mitigated it from falling and hitting the ground. So essentially, it depends on the seeds that we plant. So whenever we plant a certain seed, there is this cosmic boomerang called the law of karma, which comes back. So what it means is that we plant seeds, they will grow and they will come back and hit us. So in simple terms, whatever I'm throwing out, it will come back to me. So if we want to be able to create what we want in our life, we have to first ask ourselves, what is it that I want to be hit back with? So for example, if you want more love in your life, just taking that as an example, you want more love in your life, but if you're constantly screaming and yelling and getting angry and insulting and disrespectful to your partner, to your children, to your neighbors, to your co-workers, bosses, it could be both verbal and non-verbal. When I'm saying screaming and yelling, it could be verbal and non-verbal. Okay, that is really important to note. So you might have a smile on your face, but you are projecting all these negative thoughts and dumping all this crap on these people. They're not going to turn around and say, oh, I love you so much. I mean, which universe are we living in? Yeah. So it depends on what seeds we plant, depending on what harvest do I want. For example, if I want more happiness in my life, I create more happiness in the lives of people around me. If I want more love, nourishing relationships in my life, I am the one who's projecting that loving energy to everyone. The nurturing, caring, I'm kind to people, not only when they are around me, but also in my thoughts. I'm sending them loving energy, no matter what. If I want to make more money, I want to be more prosperous, I make people around me more prosperous rather than pulling them down. If I have a certain skill set, if I have certain knowledge, certain resources, I share with them, which will immensely benefit their career so that they can become very prosperous. I give money to charity to help people in need. I want better health. I again give money to charity that deals with health issues for people who are in need. I make sure that I am planting the seed of improving the health of people around me. If I come across a resource, I share it with my friends, not keep it to myself. Or if I know something that has immensely benefited my health, whether it's an exercise routine, whether it's a diet plan, whether it's a meditation practice, I actually share it. And I motivate and inspire the people around me to also try, give it a try, because it has helped you, rather than just keeping it to yourself, that this is something just I do for myself. So it depends on what harvest you want. It's like there are some people who they'll be planting an orange seed and I'm waiting for my apple tree. It doesn't work that way. So you plant the seeds that you want to harvest. Now, that's about the creating part. Now, what happens is you plant a seed, it takes a while to sprout. There is a lag time. Okay, so this cosmic boomerang, it takes a while to come back to us. Now, what happens is there is another law, inner law that gets added, that gets attached to it, so which is called the law of attraction. So the law of attraction gets attached to you, attached to this. You've planted a seed. As it is coming on its way back to you, the law of attraction gets attached, and whatever is coming back to you, it will amplify and attract similar frequencies and vibrations and hit you back with that. So the law of karma and the law of attraction gets attached to it. So can you imagine if repeatedly what you do in your life is complain, criticize, gossip, trash talk, judge, condemn, accuse, blame, and focus on what's going wrong? What is going to be hit back to you? The law of karma, we are planting the seeds, and the law of attraction, which has a magnifying effect. I also shared this in one of my previous sessions. It goes both ways. These laws are neutral, both negative and positive. So if you steal $1, you have to give it 10 times, give it back 10 times. If you give $1, you also karmically receive $10. It works both ways. So we've covered the first part, which is the create part. Now we are coming to the navigate part. So navigate, again, to give you an example, when you're driving a car, to go from point A to point B to reach your destination, it's not a straight line. You're going to take a left turn, a right turn. You're going to slow down your car. You're going to stop at the traffic signals. There'll be you'll try and keep your car away from trucks and buses to get to your destination. Likewise, the law of karma, if we understand it, the law of attraction, if we understand these, not an opinion, but a law, and we can use them, harness them to actually navigate our life. So, for example, let's take the example of finances. So financially, you are here, you're doing well, and you want to continue to be prosperous and financially abundant in your life. So now there is this opportunity that comes your way, which is going to make you super duper rich. But that opportunity involves stealing money. So now If you understand the law of karma, you understand the law of attraction. So you will go that, okay, fine, if I take up this project, this deal, I will be set up for my life. But it involves stealing money, which will harm someone. So I better steer away from this because I don't want to plant bad seeds. So it prevents you from planting bad seeds. And that's how the law of karma helps you to navigate your future so that you can continue to be more prosperous. As I said, whatever seed you're planting, whatever you sow, you're going to reap that. It doesn't matter when. It could be a week later, it could be a month later, it could be a year later, several years later, this lifetime, next lifetime, it is coming back to you. And it just to give another example, like when I say stealing, I'll make it really short, I'm digressing, but for stealing, it's not like just directly you're stealing money. I mean, it goes deeper than that. Just to give you an example of how deep the stealing goes. You've gone to a supermarket, you've done your grocery shopping. You come back and in your bag, you find that there is something which has accidentally come into your bag. You've not put it, somebody at the shop, while putting things in your bag, has put something which you have not paid for. We have to go back to the supermarket and either we pay for it, or if we don't want it, we return it. Otherwise, it is stealing. You work in a big fancy office, the office buys a lot of stationery, and you say that this office, like, I'm working in such a fancy office, there's so much of stationery, let me just take out 5 pens and 2 erasers and give it to my nieces and nephews who are coming. I forgot to just go and get something for them. That's stealing. Anything that you bring home from your work, which you're not using to do your work, that's stealing. It could be just a pencil. That's stealing. So that's how deep it goes. It could be stealing, could be like at an emotional level. We'll talk about it in the next session as well. At the emotional level, when you're gossiping about someone, trash talking about someone to somebody else so that they don't like that person and they like you more, that's stealing. When you make people wait for you, you're stealing their time. People who don't show up on time for their appointments, that's stealing their time. Or who prolong the sessions. I mean, you've set a session for an hour and then you do it for like an hour and a half. That's stealing people's time. So it goes that deep. Okay, so I digressed. So coming back to, that's how you navigate your future. So as I said, law of karma goes both ways. Law of attraction goes both ways. Oftentimes people use these inner laws when it suits them. They use them selectively. Oh, that person hurt me. Don't worry, karma will take care of you. Really? Just step back and look at the big picture. What is it that you have done to invite that hurt in your life in the first place? Unless we change the seeds, we cannot change the harvest. Some people say, oh, but they deserve it. But then I would say that we deserve it too. We need to change the seeds so that we can change the harvest. If I plant the seeds that I want to harvest, plant the right seeds that I want to harvest, I create the life that I want. But if I plant painful seeds, I also get something that I don't want. That's how it works. It's neutral. And this law of attraction has a magnifying effect. So when you send out negative energies, when you have anger, resentment, hatred for someone, critical thoughts, or trash talking, or gossiping is like, these things are like the worst. People bond over gossiping about other people. That causes a lot of pain and hurt. We are shooting out those negative arrows to them. When we are resentful, we hate someone, we might not say it, but we hold those things that I'm not going to forgive this person did this to me, that to me, I'm going to hold it. We are shooting those arrows constantly. That person gets impacted because people don't know how to project protect themselves from the energetic contamination. They get impacted. It permeates their aura. It goes and attaches to a part of their physical body. That part of their physical body gets impacted. For example, that's happened. The physical body has got impacted. So you have a physical condition. It impacts your work, perhaps. You're not able to keep up at work. So let's say that you're not able to now keep up at work, you're fired. It impacts your relationships. For you, you're just shooting those negative arrows of non-forgiveness and resentment and hatred. But what is it doing when it comes back to you? Not only the health issue, relationship issues, financial issues. So it hits back to you like a tornado. And then most people say that, what have I done to deserve everything at the same time? But this is what it is. And this is how the inner laws work. So whenever we have to be so watchful, so mindful of the seeds that we are planting, we plant those seeds that we want to be hit back with. Use those words, have those thoughts that you want to be hit back with. Now, having said that, when we are trying to be better people, like all of us are, right? We do our spiritual practice, we do our meditation. We are also in a way insulating ourselves from this pain, because we are learning the lessons before they hit us. So once we understand how these inner laws work, we can actually harness them to create the life that we want and also navigate our future, not just this lifetime, our future lifetimes. So we always look at the big picture. It's like laws of karma are not, it's not fatalistic, it's not negative, because it has a very negative connotation. It's like a mother and child relationship. And I told you, ownership, we all make mistakes, and ownership of our mistakes and errors is really important in this. It's like if you've spilled milk and you are doing homework and the milk has kind of is soaking all your homework sheets, and you go out of your room and you tell your mother that I'm so sorry, I accidentally I was doing my work and I didn't notice that the glass of milk was lying on the table and it spilled all over, and it's also like perhaps there was something on the table that got ruined, and I'm going to wipe it clean. I'm really sorry, and I'll be more mindful next time, and I'll also make sure that I do my homework again so that I can do my submission on time. The mother is not going to say you're going to get a time out, or I take your phone away for 2 days, you're grounded. No, she'll say, okay, my kid has already realized. But if the kid goes back and says that look, I always tell you not to give me milk at this time and not to keep it on my table, you kept it at the edge of the table, and then while I was doing my work it just spilled, now I can't do my homework sheets are all soaked in milk, and it's all your fault that you do this to me. I'm already stressed. How will the mother react? The mother will say, okay, fine. I need my child to learn the consequences of her or his action. So I need to introduce some punishment. Not really a punishment, but something for her or him to realize. But if we acknowledge our mistakes and we say, yes, I own up, I made a mistake perhaps in the past and showing up now, I own up. We acknowledge, we realize it, there is no need for the karmic hammer to hit us so hard on our heads. It'll be still a gentle tap and it'll pass away. I'm not saying things will not happen in our lives. Even if there's a financial loss, you will experience that, but you will have the kindnesses of so many people who will be there to help you through those times, that you will just tide over it. That's how it works. So it's really, really important to plant the seeds that we harvest. And with the law of attraction, it's not as if I'm planting one apple seed You don't get just one apple, you get the whole tree. So that's what the law of attraction does. It amplifies, it magnifies whatever is coming back to hit us. Now, in every lifetime, and we spoke about this briefly in the first session, we spoke about the seeds that we plant, they sprout in every lifetime. They sprout in every lifetime. How much these seeds are going to sprout, we do not know. Sometimes a little, sometimes a lot more. So these seeds in Arhatic Yoga, we call them, they're called the ancient seeds. Now, these seeds could be a combination of thoughts and emotions that we have not yet released. These seeds could be the lessons, the data from the lessons that we have not yet learned, or the data from the lessons that we have learned, which are actually sprouting. So both are qualities. Human soul accumulates in each lifetime, qualities, abilities, and defects. And all of that gets stored in the causal body, which is the vehicle of the higher soul. So these seeds start sprouting in each lifetime, little or more, we don't know. Sometimes you will notice that you have some skills that you were never taught. And in group settings, actually, it becomes even more visible. So, you're in a group setting and you come across a person who looks really timid, not impressive at all, but like a task comes to the group and she is like a tigress. She leads, she organizes, she just gets it done. There are also times when you will notice and you will come across in your life that there are some people and you exchange pleasantries with them and you think you have a good, nice friendship with them. You come together to work with them on a certain task. And then you go, I can't believe this person backstabbed me under pressure. We all experience that. So what is really happening? So when things like this happen in our life, it's just, you have to realize that, this is character defect coming on the surface, or this is a character strength coming on the surface. Rather than going on and on and about that person, gossiping to 10 other people, trash talking, this person did this to me, make a mental note and say, this is character defect coming to the surface. Next time, I will try and not be in that group, or when I'm there, I'll be very mindful and steer clear of this person, if possible. If not, I'll be really mindful and not depend so much on this person and share only as much as it's needed for a functional relationship. Or this is character strength of this person. Wow. And the soul is evolving. Every incarnation, we discussed that in the first talk, the soul is evolving. So these seeds are going to sprout. Every time the soul evolves, and this I'm referring back to swimming out of the mud. I said, there is no choice. We have to swim through the mud, break out of the muddy waters and seek the light, seek the sun. Every act of swimming, every stroke that we make to get out of this muddy water, break out of this muddy water, is when the soul is evolving, is learning, is growing. And it has a fertilizer effect as we grow and evolve. And so these ancient seeds also get magnified, both good qualities and negative qualities. So we have to be mindful constantly. That is why purification. We have to continue to pull the weeds out, continue to plant the seeds that we want to harvest, continue to pull the weeds out, all the thoughts and emotions that we haven't released yet. Come to a state where our data only has love, nothing but love. And then there'll be no more need to incarnate, no more lessons to learn, because we would have perfected, the causal body would have perfected. So we can actually use the laws to harness. That's the beauty of these inner laws, to navigate our future lifetimes, to create what we want in this lifetime. And I want to leave you with one thought. It's really, really important to be very aware. Inner reflection every day is really important. And why? Because of inner reflection, you would know, okay, I'm generally a very kind and loving person. But when this person said something to me, it really hurt me. And I had these crazy thoughts in my head. What your thoughts? I literally wanted to beat that person up. But of course, I didn't do it because, I didn't want to be seen to be doing that. And I'm just wondering, how did I get these thoughts? It could be anything. What your thoughts? Your thoughts are giving you an indication of the patterns that you still carry, the seeds, the ancient seeds that you still carry, that you need to refine. As I said, we focus on the external, on the soil. We make the soil fertile. We forget to refine the quality of the seeds, because both yin and yang work together to materialize something in our life. So we need to do all of that. We need to arrange the external environment, hard work, education, all of that, very important. Circumstances, improving our circumstances. But at the same time, we need to also look at the quality of our seeds and keep refining them karmically, so that we are able to materialize what we want in our lives and also take care of our future lives. So very, very important to be very aware of these. Sometimes you would notice, and I'll end with that you've done intense meditation and you've reached your level of inner peace, stillness. You're so calm. You're feeling like, wow, I was able to touch the higher dimensions today. And fantastic. But you will notice through the day, as you're going through the day, you start snapping at people. You start becoming impatient. You usually have your bouts of impatience, but it's not like all at once. Again, as I told you, as we are evolving, it has a fertilizer effect. So it's bringing to surface both the good qualities and the character defects. So which means that we need more purification, we need more cleansing. It comes back to that. We have to, it's like repeated thoughts become manifest as habits, repeated habits manifest as virtues. Practicing of virtues repeatedly manifest as lifestyle. And that is why it is so important to do your spiritual practice, to be so mindful and to be aware of the seeds that you're planting, to be able to harvest that, and also to be able to navigate your future seeds that you don't want to plant, so that you prevent yourself from planting those painful bad seeds, because you do not want that in your life, in this lifetime or in the lifetimes ahead. So let's end here for today.